Hey, what's going on, YouTube? This is the Chaos. I am here with your friend, SexyDreamPirate. We've been bored as shit tonight, so we're just kind of going through and doing reviews for some of the civs on Evo Fury. Well, we've already done light, we've already done water. Now we are moving on to darkness.
My area of expertise, if I do say so myself.
Right on. The way we do our rating system, in case this is the first episode, if you want to call it that
and if it is, you need to roll back and watch the first two. I had a really fun rant about forklift glue ergle.
Right.
I digress.
But if this is the first one you're watching, how we do our rating system, I just spit chip everywhere.
Blooper reel.
But the way we do our rating system is we do it between 1 and 5 stars. 1 being absolutely piss poor bullshit, fuck, never gonna invent shit kid. And 5 is being an absolute necessary staple or just plain awesome. Alright, how we have them
5 is a terror pit.
Right. How we got our decks divided right now is we're doing monsters first, monsters first and spells second, and we're doing them by level. And without further ado,
starting off with our 1-cost creatures, Gigabolver. 1 for 3,000. Whenever this creature attacks, banish it at the end of the attack. I'm gonna say this card is 3 stars. I wish it was banished if he wins, but that may be a little bit overpowered, too rushy for the Darkness Civ. But he is a 1-drop, he is a Chimera, he's excellent bait for Hydra Medusa, he's excellent bait for Tekkamura. He swings over any blocker, so if they want to attempt to block it, he's taking it with him. But it just sucks that he's gone that quick. I've seen some people running it with like an Old Gate combo that's really working out kind of cool. I knew that the Old Gate, had some playability, but I didn't think it had that much. Poji Force, I saw your video. He used Gigabolver quite a bit to untap and continue attacking, but for now, I'm going to say 3 stars. The power is nice, but if he lasted till he won a battle, he'd be a bit better.
Alright, for the most part, I'm going to... God damn, did I do it again? For the most part, I'm going to agree with Pirate here. I'm not really a fan of anything that pops I'm not a big fan of anything that pops whenever it does what it's supposed to do, but apparently that's how the Dark Civ works. But he makes it work for him a lot. I agree with him. It would be a lot more awesome if it was whenever it wins a battle, pop it, because then you could break a shield and just keep doing it without having to worry about you going bye-bye. But seeing as how it's just attacks in general, I'm agreeing with him. 3 stars. I mean, it's got 3,000 power, so it can trade with some higher stuff. But ultimately, he's going bye-bye and the turn you attack with him.
Yeah. He just dies too quick. He's a good card overall, but like I said, if they'd have made it whenever it wins, it dies, it would be a lot more playable, and it would still fit in with the theme. They could even drop the power a little bit, making 1 for 2, and it would still be acceptable in my book. Next card, 2-cost, 2 for 2,000, Vanilla Gigazonda. I'm going to give this card 4 stars. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give this card 5 stars. With Darkness, there's not that many 2-drops that you actually want to be running. So, 2 for 2, you're not losing anything power-wise. He's a Chimera, so he's excellent bait. It's just a well-rounded card. It fits in Rush, it fits in aggro as bait, it fits in as control, as bait for Medusa. There's just a lot of options, and it's just a solid staple. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and give it 4. 5 is reserved for a little bit better, but overall, amazing card.
I'm going to agree with him. It's 2 for 2. It's standard. It's a staple, and it's a necessary one. I'm rating it 4 stars as well, because 5-star, like he said, is reserved for something else, and I think we both know what that is now, don't we?
Yeah. Gigazond is really good. If you're running Rush, it teams with Brain Squirmer to get that turn 2 drop. If you're running anything else, it's great bait, and it can break shields along the way. So overall, just a really good card. Anyway, moving on. Another 2 cost, one of my personal favorites, Scavenging Chimera, 2 for 1,000. Now, if you're running him in any deck other than a Mono Darkness, you might as well stop because you just dropped an Aqua Soldier. Dude, you made an Aqua Soldier. But anyways, if you're running Mono Darkness and all of the cards in your mana zone, of course, are dark, he gets an extra 2,000 power, and whenever he attacks, you can choose a creature in your discard pile and put it in your hand. So, first of all, if you're running Mono Darkness, just for the rest of this, assume he's Mono Darkness. He's 2 for 3,000. So already, just in that, he's blown away any other 2-drop that there is out there. He doesn't pop. He doesn't anything like that. So 2 for 3,000, Darkness Civ does not happen. It's not power attack, it's power. So he's covered, he's excellent in that fact. And then his effect, the extra, whenever he attacks, pull something from your graveyard. This is amazing because there's no level limit on this. You can pull your Hydra Medusas out and basically recycle Terror Pit. You can, if they got rid of your big beat stick, you can drop him again. If you're running Trox and you were trying to clear the field of his small stuff and they got rid of that, you can pull him out and replay him. There's just so many options. This card is so versatile in a mono deck. In a mono deck, 5 stars all the way. Any other deck,
you're dumb.
Any other deck, if you're running him, I'm going to say 2 stars. He's not completely useless because he is good bait for Hydra Medusa. But, other than that, it's an Aqua Soldier in a Mono Civ deck. So, 2 for in a multi-Civ. So, in a multi-Civ, it's basically an Aqua Soldier that can evolve, 2 stars. In a Mono Civ deck, if you're not running it, you're fucking crazy.
Pretty much, I'm only gonna give this guy 1 rating because the other one, it should be rhetorical.
Yeah.
All right, Monochrome, 5 stars. Period. This guy. How about that one? This guy is a must-have staple, and he is awesome. And like he said, there is no limit on the recursion this guy can do. In that case, hell, Tekamura gets punked, he's here to pick him the fuck back up. 5 stars, guaranteed, no questions asked. And if you do play him in a multi-civ nation, you need to be slapped. Yeah.
He can tell you, I've done the recycle Hydra Medusa on him using that card. And it's pretty rough.
It's not fun.
No. Alright, anyway, enough about 2 drops. 3 costs. Slit! 3 for 2,000. Whenever this creature attacks...
I thought it was Slythe.
Slith, whatever. Slithe, actually Slithe. That's what it is. Sorry, YouTube. Whenever this creature attacks, your opponent puts the top card of his or her deck into his or her discard. So, basically, whereas... Gigastan
does it from the hand?
Yeah, Gigastan does it from the hand. This guy's top decking into the discard. Me personally, I would rather play Gigastan because getting it out of their hand is a lot more effective than getting it...
Plus the whole shield thing you do.
Yeah. Getting it out of their hand is a lot more effective than getting it out of their pile, out of their deck. The effect is cool. Maybe later on, if we get some Ghost Evos, it'll be a bit more playable. But as of now, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm sorry to do this because I think the effect is awesome. Darkness could use some more discard, but for now, I'm gonna rate Slithe as 2 stars. The effect is interesting, but there's a lot better, just average run-of-the-day 3 drops that you should be playing. Dream Pirate, Giga Stand, Skull Cutter, those are just a few. I'm going to say 2 stars.
I'm going to have to disagree. Not a whole lot, but enough. The fact of the matter is that discarding in general, no matter what, it's basically gambling. Alright, right there, you have the opportunity to automatically destroy something before it can even be summoned, and just throw it away before it even comes out, right? And that essence, Evo Tats can go bye-bye, Grand Gear can go bye-bye, Celestial Dragon, Tatsorion, fucking Takamura, anything and everything can just go bye-bye. And the guy will never have a chance to play it unless they're running some sort of recursion, which is rare. So, granted, I do agree with him about the Giga Stand thing, though. Giga Stand is more effective because you're denying the person the ability to maintain a hand. You do that, granted, for them it sucks dick because in that case they're not even really playing. They're just sitting there like they're basically a punching bag, and that's it. So I would rate Giga Stand a 4, and because of that, I'm rating Slith or 3 stars.
It's an interesting effect. I think that there's better 3-drops out there. I'm not going to deny that it would be nice, but at the same time, Giga Stand just blows that card out of the water, because if they've already got that power card in their hand, you're not doing anything. Now, on the chance, somebody runs maybe 3-4 finishers in a 40-card deck, there's a small chance that you're going to get rid of those finishers. Now, if you do, good for you. But if you don't, then you just got them 1 card closer to doing it. That's why I'm giving it 2 stars. It's kind of brutal for a Darkness card. I love the Darkness Civ, but I had to.
Redheaded stepchild.
Redheaded stepchild. Anyways, next. Locomotivator. 3 for 3,000. He goes in, destroy one of your own shields. I'm going to let you lead on this one. What do you think?
Frankly, I understand the idea behind doing it, but I don't understand the practice. Alright, the idea of it is to help feed your hand. Alright, and cool. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? I mean, and you're breaking your own shield, so if it's a shield trigger, there you go.
No.
It's not breaking it, it's just returning it?
It goes into your hand. You cannot, as far as I'm aware, we really need organized play so we can clear up some of this stuff.
Okay, it says choose one of your shields, it doesn't say break shield.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, you're basically returning a shield from your zone to your hand. Basically, you're feeding your hand so you're getting more options. Alright, cool, I understand that, that's great. However, at the same time, you're doing your opponent a favor, and this one is probably the biggest favor you can do of all of them. Alright, up until Locomotivator, I thought charging your opponent's mana with Return to the Soil or something was a double-edged sword. What was the other one we found? Forklift. Rugal was a big one. This, for me, is another one, because this one, you're effectively helping your opponent beat you, period. Straight out. That's the object of the game. Remove shields and then slap them 1 more, and that's all you gotta do. With this, you're getting them 1 step closer to beating you. Granted, it's all strategizing. I understand the whole point of getting another card is so you have options, and it might be the one you're looking for. Alright, that's cool. I understand that. However, I just do not agree at all with helping out your opponent unless you're in dire straits and you full-heartedly believe that this is your last shot. For me, a lot of people are going to hate me, but I don't give a shit because I hate everyone anyway. Locomotivator, 2 stars.
I'm not going to say 2 stars for Locomotivator. I'm going to say 3. It's an average card. It really, 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 really sucks that you are breaking your own shield. In a Fire Dark Rush, especially one that kicks off on turn 3, or turn 4, a really fast one such as my Fire Nature Rush. His Fire Dark Rush runs a bit slower, so it doesn't lack any for not running this card. But in a card that runs a lot of 1-drops that pop, such as Mara Ooze or Gigabulver, stuff such as that, or something that really kicks off real fast and runs out of cards quick, Locomotivator does have a place in those kind of rush decks. If you're a gambler and you need some power, you know, because in the Darkness, to get 3,000 power, to get a 3,000 vanilla, you've got to drop Graveworm Hatchling, which is a 4 cost. So basically, it's giving you a little bit more power with a very negative side effect. You know, it doesn't have fast attacker or anything like that, so it's not going to help the turn that you drop it in. But if you're needing cards and you're not running water and it's a rush deck, this card can work. This card has a place in Fire Dark Rush or a straight Mono Dark Rush, which I haven't seen anybody make.
I don't really know if it would be a very effective one.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I am going to say, because it does have its place, it has its niche if you're running that. 3 stars, kind of pushing it. I'm an old DM player. I've destroyed my own shields to win a game, but never to summon a creature that's basically 3 for 3 or 4 for 4, such as that. So, 3 stars from me. Next, moving on to 4 cost. Swamp Stench Worm. 4 for 2,000 Slayer. Slayer mechanic costs 2 to buy, so it's standard in that sense. It's a rotworm, so it's not getting the... Oh, actually, I take that back.
Rotworm, though.
If you are running Horde Stinger, which I don't know anybody in this country that is, but you might be, he can actually get the bump to turn him into a 4 for 4. You know, so it does have that going for it. It is a Slayer, so it has that going for it. But whenever I run a Slayer, I either want it in soon and cheap, or I want it in late game with big power to swing over little stuff and then take out the big thing. So this is kind of a mid-game card with 2,000 attack. It doesn't swing over a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to say 3 stars. It is a Slayer, but it's just not that usable.
For the whole not that usable, I'm going to agree with that. However, the rating, unfortunately, for you Dark fans out there, sorry, I'm going to have to go a little bit lower. He's 4 for 2. There was already a 3 for 1, and there's a 5 for 3. Alright, this guy's 4 for 2. He's either going to be trading with something or dying out altogether. Basically, if this guy takes on a Giga Stand or takes on a Thunder Cruiser or something, he's going to trade with it. Pretty much, he's going to be doing the exact same thing that Skullcutter would be. For that, I would say, I mean, unless you want to run a Mono Dark full of Slayers, then this guy would hold some purpose for you. But only because he's a Slayer is why you would play him. Frankly, if I were running a Dark deck of any sort and I wanted, you know, more than 3 Slayers, I'd run 2 Skullcutter and 2 Acid Tongue. Yeah. This guy would hold no place in me whatsoever. I can understand why they printed him because he's a Rotworm. I mean, he can run with a bump for 4, which is awesome. I mean, if you're running Horde Stinger, sorry to cut you off, but if you're running Horde Stinger, the card is worth it. But if you're not, right? If you're not, and like he said, even I've been looking at some videos when I'm bored, and I haven't seen anybody playing Horde Stinger. For that, this guy's got 2 stars. He'd get 1, but the fact that he's a Slayer is covering his ass. Even if you're running Horde Stinger, I'd give him a 3, because he's not a necessity. He'd be better than Skullcutter, so I suppose you could argue a 4 with Horde Stinger, but you'd really have to fight to push that 4 stars on him. For me, I could give a hell less. I don't want to say drop the F-bomb, just in case, but 2 stars.
Actually, you know what? I think you brought up some really good points. I think I'm gonna have to go with him. 2 stars if you're not running Horde Stinger. If you're running a Rotworm themed deck for some reason, I'd give it 3. But 2 stars just because you either want him early with Skullcutter or you want him late with Acid Tongue and even Voidwing. I run 5 Slayers in my deck, and I'm not going anywhere near Swamp Stench Worm. Giga or Acid Tongue Chimera is a hell of a lot better. It's got 1 more power. Yeah, it comes in a turn later, But it can get rid of Seneschal, it can get rid of Razorhide, and then you still got bait for Medusa. So, yeah, overall, yeah, I'm going to agree with the Chaos on that. I love Darkness, but we got another 2-star card. Alright, moving on to another 4-cost. I'm going to let you lead on this one. I will present it.
I actually don't know much about him.
Screeching Scaredorable. 4/4. Come on. 3,000. Alright. When this creature enters the battle zone, choose target enemy creature. If it's level 2 or less, banish it. Otherwise, it can't block this turn. And it's 4 for 3.
That automatically, I can already tell you, is going to be at least a 4. It's Chimera, 4, 3. Otherwise, it can't block. Bench. I think that's pretty easy. This guy's a 5, hands down. I mean, either he's banishing something, or it's not going to block you. I mean, it's not a Comet Missile, but it still gets the damn job done, meaning you can go for game that much sooner. And the fact that he's 4 mana cost for 3, that's awesome.
Yeah, that makes him standard in the Darkness.
That means that on turn 4, you bring him out. There's probably going to be some tap 2s still on the field, so you can plop them the fuck off. And if it just so happens to be a light deck or a heavier blocker or something, then that blockers isn't going to do shit. And by turn 4, they're not going to have that many blockers out there. The most they're going to have is 4, and that's if they're running a monochrome light deck. And they have like 3 Thunder Cruiser or something with a Prison Blade on there or something. But yeah, for me, this guy's got 5 stars. He's pretty good, well built. He's only a tap 4, so he's coming out early. And he's at 3,000, so he can swing over a lot of tap 2s and some tap 3s.
I'm not going to go quite so high with the card. I'm not going to say 5 stars. I'm going to say a definite 4, maybe a 4.5. The 4 for 3, as I said, is, you know, standard power for the Darkness Civ, so it's not lacking there. It's got some low-level banish on it, and it's 2 turns sooner than Venom Worm, and 2,000 points, or, yeah, 2,000 attack even stronger. So, it's got some really good low-level removal on it, and if it's, you know, higher than that, if it's a blocker, then that blocker isn't doing anything for this turn. This card definitely has a spot in rush decks. It definitely has a spot in control decks, and I'm going to bring up, you know, another really good thing this card has going for it. With it being a 4-drop, turn 4, you drop it in, Frogzuka can't block. Your little Pissant Swing breaks some shields. Your next turn, turn 5, Medusa. Right on top of it, you got rid of that blocker. You bought yourself some more time to get rid of the big ugly blocker. You know, this card is really good, excellent Evo bait, good strong power, good removal, good all the way around. I'm going to say 4 stars, maybe 4.5. It's not quite 5, but if it wasn't for the fact that I'm stingy, it would be. Oh, moving on. Last 4-drop creature, last 4-cost creature. Chimera Tyrant. 4 for 6,000. It is Double Breaker. And when this creature wins a battle, banish it. Okay. You can go ahead.
Well, alright, it is wins a battle. This is fairly easy for me. He's probably, so far, he's probably the cheapest Double Breaker I've seen yet.
He is.
4 stars, hands down. Because it's when he wins a battle that he gets banished. So that Double Breaker comes into supreme effect. You break 2 shields, he's still in it. He can do it again. He don't give a fuck. To hell with everything else. I'm running out of material. But this guy is easily 4 stars for me, just because the fact he's a Double Breaker, he's tapped 4 for 6,000, so he can even swing over something if he needs to and take his banishing little thing that he does. Otherwise, your opponent's pretty much forced to try to block this, because the guy's going to be double breaking and he's going to be doing it every fucking time.
I am not giving this card 4 stars. I'm going to say 3 stars, maybe even 2. It is the cheapest double breaker that we've seen so far that is not an evolution. So it's swinging on turn 5 for 2 shields. And this is probably the main reason that I'm giving it such a poor rating, is because, like I said, it's swinging on turn 5 to break 2 shields. But by turn 5, their field, if they're running a Fire Nature Rush, that is the only reason they do not have a blocker on the field by turn 5. If you're running some heavy removal, you may be able to get that blocker out of the way so he's not immediately blocked. But he's affected by cheap removal. He can be blocked and destroyed by any card on the field, which, like I said, if they're running a race that has any blockers, by turn 5, if there's not one out there, then you must be doing a really good job. He's not acceptable Evo bait for Hydra Medusa, because on turn 4, like, his effect doesn't come into play until turn 5. I don't know why you'd play him as Evo bait. You're much better off playing Screeching Scaradorable or Gigastand or any other Chimera bait. And say he does get through, unless their field is completely empty, and by turn 5 it shouldn't be, but unless their field is completely empty, this big bad card just got killed by Blaze Belcher or by Megris. It's not the greatest. Maybe in certain decks with the perfect hand, turn 3 Dream Pirate, turn 4 Chimera Tyrant, turn 5, drop some sort of destruction. You have to have a blocker down to protect him, and you have to have an open field to use him. Or at least a blocker-free field to use him. And he's not good Evo bait. I'm going to say 2 stars. 2 stars. Plus, I actually dug through my old DM stuff to get these out. Now, we have Chimera Tyrant, 4 for 6,000, double breaker. And in old DM, we had Necro Dragon Gilead, 4 for 6,000, double breaker. The exact same card. They took the effect from a Necro Dragon, which I'm a big fan of, and they slapped it on some other card art, which this game has been doing a lot. It's okay by me. I love the old DM game. I'm just thrilled that we got it back. I don't care if they swap creatures with effects. That's not, what really bugged me. But what really did bug me, and I stated this in my Mono Dark update as well, but we had Tyrant Worm in old DM. That was 1 for 2,000, and it was the same art. But the important part is it's a worm. This card is a worm. It's not a chimera. It shouldn't have been a chimera. We had enough chimeras. They could have left it a worm and it would have been fine. I wanted to throw that out there. They didn't need to do it. It was a little unnecessary. I don't know. It could just be me being anal retentive, but I wanted to throw that one out there. Anyways, got that one out of the way. Moving on. 5 cost. A lot of people love this. Hydra Medusa. 5 for 5. Terror Pit on wheels. You can use recursion cards to recycle it. I'm going to say, without a doubt, 5 stars. 5 for 5, so it swings decent. Yeah, it sucks it's not a double breaker, but if it was a double breaker, I would say it's a little bit broken. And it's a terror pit, going in. There's not a situation where this card isn't useful. There's a ton of Evo bait for it, all the way around. It's just a phenomenal card. 5 stars, without a doubt.
Not much can be said. It's 5 stars. There's nothing you can say to make this card sound any better than it already is. Because everyone knows how good it is. It's 5 stars.
He's played it against me. I've played it against him. We've both felt the sting. It's a fantastic card. Okay, moving on. Olgate, Knight of Shadow, 6 for 5,000. He is a Shadow champion. And he has Necro Charge. Whenever one of your creatures is banished, untap this creature.
That's some badass card art, though.
Yeah, it is.
I fucking love that card art. Look at that. Look at that. For those of you who can't see, it's a skeleton riding on other skeletons with wings and swords. It's metal. Totally metal. See, 6 for 5. I don't know. I really like the Shadow Champion race in the Darkness. Just simply because I'm a really big RPG fan. And I like the whole, Death Knight look thing. I mean, I just think it's really fucking cool. Wait a minute. That skull's his underbody. The skull is this man's underbody, and the skull is also carrying a sword in its mouth.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
That's ridiculous.
Swords and skulls and death everywhere.
Arnold Schwarzenegger got nothing on him. Alright. And his effect is that's pretty uncommon for a dark card.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of lightish.
That's really lightish, yeah. On whenever a creature's banished, banished. It's kind of like
I could see a light or a darkness card having this effect.
It's like a hybrid type thing. I don't know. Yeah. I still think there's someone in Wizards of the West Coast that is, what's the word? Whenever they're more pulled to one side of an argument, simply because biased. Something.
Yes, biased, jaded.
Basically, I think there's someone in Wizards of the West Coast that is biased towards Dark Civ because they really, really just like dark type creatures. Which I can understand because I really like it too, but at the same damn time, come on. But for me, the rating for this guy, he's 6 for 5 and he's Shadow Champion. So there's not a whole lot you can do. I don't know. I really don't understand the point of the effect. Whenever one of your creatures is banished, untap him. I guess it would keep him from getting destroyed next, but then he just get destroyed first.
I'll go on and say this. I saw Poetry Force. I saw your video. You were running I believe it was, I want to say Mono Dark, using the Old Gate combo, and what he would do is he would spend all the way up to turn 6, dropping Marrow Ooze, Dream Pirate, Gigabulver, stuff that when it attacks, it dies. And then he would play Old Gate. Turn 7, swing with Old Gate. Swing with Marrow Ooze. Untap. Swing with Old Gate. And just down the line, take out 6 shields in one turn.
Okay, I can understand that. There's only 5 shields.
Well, yeah, sorry, 5 shields and then swing for game.
Well, that's pretty cool. Oh, man, in that essence, if you can exploit a good combo with this guy, I don't know. I'm already giving him 3 stars, but if you know how to use him, to you, he'd be worth probably 4, maybe even a 5, if you can use him well. Because when it comes to strategy, I'm only good when it comes to chess, for some damn reason. But when it comes to card games, my strategy area sucks dick. So for me, I'm giving this guy 3 stars. I want to give him 4 because he looks supremely badass, but I can't do that.
Yeah, but card art only takes you so far.
Yeah. Card art, there's 5 stars. It's fucking awesome. But because it's taken me 15 minutes to explain, 3 stars, unless I somehow find a combo to use him, then his rating will go up for me. But that's only based on use.
Yeah. I'm going to give him 3 stars as well. 6 for 5,000, not a double breaker, is a little bit low for a 6-drop. I think on turn 6 there's other combinations of cards that are better. In a deck specifically tailored to using this card is, those decks, will work. Could be a lot of fun. I've been talking to the Chaos and saying we need some cards that destroy our own creatures. For example, there was one, Daldios, General Fury, released in the 4th expansion of Old DM. It was 4 for 12k, double breaker, and when he attacks, he destroys his own creatures. Or destroys one of your own creatures. If we get something like that destroys a creature of ours, then this effect could see a bit more play, but right now, unless you're running a deck specifically tailored to this, the effect isn't going to happen a whole lot. It's very useful when it does, but there's a lot of stuff that he can't swing over. He's affected by Tornado Flame. The only thing he's really safe from is the cheap removal. So for that, I'm going to say 3 stars. He is a Shadow Champion, but the only Shadow Champion Evo we got was Impalicus. And I love Impalicus, but if he was a zombie Evo, he'd be a lot more usable.
Whoopsies.
As a Skyforce, he's not really too usable. Now, unfortunately, our next 6-card card is a card that I do not have a copy of. I should, but I just haven't got on eBay to purchase one. It's the only card that I do not have out of Evo Fury. I have multiple copies of other super rares, but I do not have a Tekimura. Tekimura, the Wretched, is a 6 cost for 11,000 Chimera Evolution, and it has the effect Engulf. Whenever this creature attacks, destroy all of your opponent's creatures that are level 1 or less. The attack effect will not come into play a whole lot. You know, maybe on turn 6 you can drop him in, swing, and get rid of a Cyber Sprite or, you know, something like that. But the attack effect isn't going to come in a whole lot. But he's a 6-drop. He's got tons and tons of Evo bait. He swings, you know, with the best of them. There's what? Evo Fury Tats, Earth Stomp Giant.
Orion.
Orion doesn't even swing over him. Lavu the Stormbringer. You know, you've got 3 cards that can trade or kill him in Evo Fury. Evo Fury Tats is, you know, he can actually get rid of it. So there's only 3 ways to get rid of him creature-wise, and then, you know, there's Root Trap and Terror Pit, and that's about it. You know, Veil Vortex can buy you some more time. But Tekimura, crazy good. I'm going to rate it 5 stars. If I had him, I would, you know, slip 2 of them in my mono dark deck and just get some, you know, crazy aggro power.
For me, on him, Tekimura.
That's not it.
I know. I was just looking to see what it was next. So I can formulate an opinion in advance. Tekimura for me would definitely have to be 5 stars. Also, forgot to mention the fact he is also a double breaker.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Always good.
Always good. But yeah, Tekimura, 5 stars, easily.
6 for 11,000 in the Darkness Civ. Come on, there's nature and fire creatures that don't swing that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Rabu the Stormbringer swings that hard, barely, you know. And he's light. He's supposed to be high powered, especially for 6 cost. Crazy good card. Love it. All right, our last card in the Darkness Civ. 4 cost. The only spell that we got. Return from Beyond. Shield Blast, choose a non-evolution creature in your discard pile that is level 4 or less and put it into the battle zone. So it's basically
super
doped
recursion.
up, yeah, doped up recursion. What do you think?
I think this would be a good card for a rush deck.
Yeah.
Because it'd help you get some bait back that you lost.
Even if
hell, this would be even. I think this would be more effective in like a fire dark rush because it's non-evo.
Yeah, it's non-evo.
All right,
that
so
does hurt. And it does have a level limit.
It does have a level limit, but most bait is below level 4 anyway.
Yeah, bait is, yeah.
Yeah, but I think this would be actually, oddly enough, I think this would be more effective in a multi-civ than in a dark civ. Well, actually, I don't know. If you're in the mono civ, you'd have scavenging. So with this, you could effectively bring him back and put him back on the field and have him start doing his shit again. And from then, you can pull your big shit.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, for a spell, there's a whole lot of shit that could be done with this, even given the fact that it has limits on it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. 4 stars, because this thing can just open up so many windows for you to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I mean, whether it's just a fucking... I mean, hell, dude, whether it was a Rupture Spider or a Scavenging Chimera, this could help you bring back. Maybe it's a little bit high going to 4. It's a definite 3. Definite 3, maybe 4, depending on how it can be used.
I'm gonna rate it as 3 stars. Maybe even go as low as 2. And I'll tell you why. With Scavenging Chimera and even Grave Scrounger, we have, better removal options. Or, I'm sorry, better recursion options. Even, Dark Return. So we've got better removal options already. Now, the main card that I would want to pop back in with this would be Heliflame or Screeching Scaradorable. But Heliflame, I got to reading on the card, and it says at the end of the turn. It doesn't say at the end of your turn. So basically, even if you use this card to pull Heliflame out of the graveyard, it goes back in your hand. You never even get a chance to attack with it. And then on your next turn, you can drop him out and actually swing. I think the effect is very cool, but I don't think it's very useful. Most of us who are running Darkness are running, Grave Scrounger or Dark Return or something like that. So, there's sometimes that our graveyard just doesn't have a level 4 or less in it. Yeah, I've seen that happen, where you got it as a shield, but you couldn't play it because there wasn't any level 4s or less in your discard pile. So I think on paper it sounds really cool. In constructed play, I'm going to give it 3 stars, maybe 2. It's just not that playable. There's just, if you get it as a shield blast and you can slip in a Rupture Spider or something like that, or I don't know. Actually, there is one option I didn't see with this. If you're running this and your opponent breaks a shield and you have bait out on the field already, you could use Laser Arm Dracon or Bronze Arm Sabertooth from the graveyard. Drop them right on top of the bait. That is, an option, but I think there's just a lot of options with this card and not a whole lot of actual, successful testing play. For that reason, 3 stars, maybe 2. But that is our review of the Darkness Civ. I'm noticing that our videos are getting longer and longer
as we go.
Yeah, I think the chaos is getting a little tired, as am I. So this might be our last one for tonight. But we have done Light and Water before this, and I promise, we will do Fire and Nature. So like, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. Until next time, keep playing. You got anything you want to say to YouTube?
Bye.
See ya.